Hey everyone, it's your girl Chris, and welcome to Between the Wickets, a conversation series where I step onto the pitch to explore the lives and stories of the professional players who live and breathe the game. Let's welcome today's guest, Sanjay Stanley. Hi Sanjay, how are you?
Hi, Krystal. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks again for taking some time to be here on Between the Wickets.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Let's start with your journey. You were born and bred in Chennai, and now you're based in North Carolina. Tell me about your earliest memories of cricket in Chennai. Who or what got you hooked onto the sport?
Well, how I started watching the sport first was during the 2007 T20 World Cup. I think it was during my birthday party. Uh, Yuvraj Singh hit six sixes that day. So everybody
Wow.
was watching the game on the TV and super excited, loud about it. And I just got fascinated just to see him do that. I was like, oh, you know what? This is super interesting. And then eventually the interest grew, and then my school had cricket, so I was part of the school cricket team. And then things got serious slowly. My dad's a big cricket fan as well, so he kept pushing me, and then ended up playing for the state here in Tamil Nadu. A state Tamil Nadu is a state in India, by the way. So
Mhm.
played under 14s here, and then after which we had to move to the US, and the journey sort of took on from there.
Yeah, which I learned a bit about you through that with the research that I was doing. What exactly drove that transition to pursue cricket in the US?
So after the interest sort of like sparked up, India won the
Mhm.
2011 World Cup. I was still in India at that point, and then
Right.
I was like, I have to do this one day. I have to, win a World Cup for my country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then we had to move to the US. But the fire was, I was really really passionate about it, and I still always wanted to be a cricketer. And then when I came to know that USA had a cricket team, the goal was to eventually get onto the US team, help USA qualify to the World Cup, and then eventually win a World Cup for US at some point. That was the
Yeah,
goal, and then that sort of helped me push through.
that's amazing though that, all that cricketing experience that you had in Chennai and then getting that spark. I would say maybe UV Singh did hit those sixes for your birthday. That was like a birthday present for you. But that's pretty amazing that still transitioned, when you shifted to the US. Um, you've got quite an impressive career so far. Learning about your cricketing experiences in India and how that transitioned when you shifted to North Carolina. Um, you were a former vice captain for the USA Under 19 team. You represented the US in the 2019 ICC Americas World Cup qualifier. And then that same year, you were also part of the USA men's squad. You were also vice captain for the Morrisville Raptors in minor league cricket. And you trained as a shadow player with the Seattle Orcas in Major League Cricket. A lot of different experiences. But when you look back on those environments, what are some of the biggest lessons you think you were taught as both a player and as a leader?
I think the number one thing, if you want to sort of pursue this, is to make this a lifestyle, right?
Mm.
So I also have academy right now, and then I tell all my kids about it. It's about living this lifestyle. It's about nailing the process down consistently, right? The small things sometimes we sort of neglect and throw out of the window. Things like, recovery, hydrating properly, sleeping right, training right. It could be your drill session, or it could be your team session, or it could be your workout session. Whatever it is, you should be able to nail the little things down consistently and not worry about the results. Results are automatic byproduct of the process. That's something I sort of learned in these settings. There's no major difference between a big professional and a good upcoming player. It's just more
Yeah.
about doing the simple basic things right over a consistent period of time.
And I think
Consistently over.
you nailed that because it's accepting that lifestyle and also factoring that into a regular lifestyle you may live, or making those changes so that you flex and you adapt to the reality of what it takes to be involved as a cricketer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With the US cricket landscape evolving so quickly, how would you describe that cultural shift from Indian cricket environments to the cricket scenes in North Carolina and the US?
So when I first moved here, there was not much going on. There was only
Right.
like 10 kids playing cricket. So everything that happened initially, we had to sort of like just try to do by ourselves. I was
Mhm.
blessed to have a great coach in Mr. Alvin Kallicharran. So I had daily training with him, with a group of kids. And but now if you look at it, it's properly established with the proper youth cricket system in place, a proper pathway system in place, and cricket is really growing here. But if I have to point out one thing that's different from India and the US, that would be more so the mindset. I feel like players in the US are equally skilled or more skilled than players around the world. It's just more so like the mindset and lack of match practice. Say in India or in other cricket playing nations, you play like 3 games a week or 4 games a week. But in the
Oh,
US, we barely try to get one or two a week. So that plays a huge part in terms of your, mental awareness of the game and tactically how you want to go about it. With more experience, obviously you know how to sort of handle pressure better and how to like be more aware and or not aware, I would say presence of mind during game time.
do you think that has to do with the fact that in those different cultures and environments, being here in North America, you're also balancing a 9 to 5 job. So that's why, that cricket in a way takes a back seat because you're sort of balancing that along with school if you're schooling. Versus in India, things are a little more rigorous because that may be your 9 to 5 job.
Right. Absolutely. No, you nailed it there because cricket in say test playing nations are at a stage where even if you're part of your domestic setup, that's your full-time job. You have proper contracts in place. You have a full season in place. There's a proper
Mm.
pathway and you get paid properly for it. So you don't really have to, do much else. But here, like if you're not in the national team, you're not in the national setup or in major league, it's very difficult to make a living out of just playing club cricket or domestic
Right.
cricket. So we're forced to, have other jobs, which makes it like difficult. So I hope, if our domestic structure gets better, so even like for a player like me to get back into the setup, that would be very useful because, you have something in place, if you do well here, it leads to something and that make
Yeah.
a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, One thing about, these different cricket scenes, how do you envision the future of domestic competitions like minor league cricket and major league cricket in shaping the next generation of American talent?
No, I think it plays a big part because, say, minor league, for example, right? With all the overseas players coming in, like even for me as a youngster, I got to play with the likes of like Dane Pete, Obispianar, Lahiru, and a lot of other good players where you learn a lot from, right? And you learn about professionalism, you learn the tactical side of the game and how they go about their business. So that really helped, say, players like me and a lot of other youngsters who are in the scene because every team has three or four pros.
Right.
So, like, the culture of the team gets set up properly. So
Hmm.
now, not only do they play, but they also coach locally. All the minor league, most of the minor league players. So all the youngsters
Hmm.
coming through are coming through with like proper guidance and learning the game the right way in a professional manner. And the standards that the youngsters are producing right now are quite high. And it's super competitive youth cricket in the country right now. So I believe it was a good sort of setup to have all these pros in place and for like people in the middle like me and other players to sort of grow and learn. And now the youngsters coming through the pipeline are coming through in a really good manner,
Yeah.
ready to take cricket to the next level. So it's
And I
made a
love
huge
that.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also with your vice captaining, when you were with Morrisville Raptors in minor league and having the international talent to witness what you can do as a domestic player and also support you in that sort of leadership role. Um, could you talk to me more about that experience in minor league as well as being a shadow player with the Seattle Orcas? Because I had a feeling I did see you in Major League Cricket with Seattle Orcas. Was that for a season one Major League Cricket or
No, it was season two,
two?
and
Okay,
the season three, I worked with them in cricket
oh,
operations, not as a player, not cricket
gotcha. Okay,
operations, but overall operations as part of the
okay,
operations team. But
gotcha.
yeah, great experience. So first, I'll start with minor league.
Hmm.
So playing with these players, so that's the time I was transitioning from like the under 19 setup. So to come into men's cricket is obviously a big leap. So having players of this caliber around me and helping me really helped me like shape up the way I go about my game, the
Right.
mindset, because I believe cricket is 70% mental, 30% skill. So to have the right mindset in place, mentally preparing the right way, tactically understanding the game, and things like that really helped me to sort of take that jump quicker than most would. And it's helped a lot of players in my batch around the country. So in terms of minor league, yeah, I would say it helped me mentally a lot. So that was super helpful. And obviously being in a leadership position along with them is also nice because you get to be part of those discussions. You get to understand how you plan for a certain game or opponent, and how different conditions you pick different sides and how you want to go about the brand of cricket you want to play, and stuff like that. I feel like that really helped me mature as a player a lot. I do have quite a bit of failures in minor league as a player, but then I believe overall all the experiences that I sort of went through during that period helped me be the person I am today and the player I am today. So yeah, very useful. And in terms of major league, obviously rubbing shoulders with like all the best players in the world, like it's a great feeling. You get to see how they prepare, how they sort of like go about their routines and how they plan for each game, and just a bunch of little things. Like I was just literally in awe to see literally small things like their pre-game routines and
Mm.
how they are after the game, how they switch off, switch on, and how they plan before games and all of that. So that was super exciting. But my role in Seattle Orcas is more in the operation side, not really much as a player, but still
Right.
you get to see everything. So it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds very cool. And you sound like someone who absorbs a lot of information. And you observe those things as well. And I think it's also important to recognize that yes, we have failures. That's a part of being human. And that just makes us who we are. And once we recognize that, we're able to factor that into our future and how we continue to move, but it makes us better versions of ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
Um,
That's spot on.
yeah. Now, beyond playing professionally, you're also deeply involved in mentoring and coaching at Elite Cricket Academy. What motivated you to step into that territory?
So actually coaching is something that's very close to my heart, and that's something that I really enjoy and do have a career in right now apart from playing. So how I started coaching was, so I was originally part of Triangle Cricket League. That's where I grew up as a player. And then once I got picked for USA under 19s, and once we got back from the World Cup qualifier, the president then offered me a role to start as a coach because I was one of the first from NC to play for the country.
Mm,
So, role model for all the kids that were coming through the system. So then I joined in as a coach, and only then I realized that I really like coaching.
mm,
So then I took a few players under my wing and then sort of worked with them personally, started doing a lot of one on ones, and then started coaching in the setup as well. After which, all of a sudden, like the coaching demand grew. And so I worked at Core Cricket Academy, where I really enjoyed coaching. And then things were going well. And then eventually got this opportunity to sort of take over Elite Cricket Academy to be a partner and then to coach there. And cricket was not really, there's not a lot of cricket in Charlotte. So I'm based out of Raleigh, right? So
Okay.
then saw the need in the area there and then saw the potential for this business to grow and to also impact a lot of young cricketers because I could relate me not having much in Raleigh while I was growing up. So I could relate to what those kids were probably going through and sort of wanted to make a change. So decided to move, took over Elite Cricket Academy, and that's where I work full time now. And I
Wow.
coach.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the process, I've also mentored um, about 7 USA under 19 cricketers.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah,
And I think as someone who was formerly in education, it's important to keep our mental health in check so that when we pass information on to our students, we are doing it with utmost care and attention, and making sure that their
absolutely.
experiences, in a way are reflective of things that we've learned, but also preparing them to be the next generation.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
what habits or philosophies do you emphasize the most with young players aspiring to play competitively or professionally?
So I think number one is to be as grounded as possible, right? Because cricket is a very humbling game, and then you can have ups and downs, right? Because there's a lot of odds in the game, right? So you'll
Mm,
have a good day. You can score 100 today, and then tomorrow you could get out for a first ball duck. Can humble
right.
you that quick.
Yeah.
So I specifically emphasize a lot on staying level. So not getting too happy not when you do well and not getting too sad when you don't do well. So sort of staying consistent in your sort of thought process and in your mindset. So that's something I emphasize a lot because kids can get emotional. So that's number one for the mindset. And in terms of I emphasize a lot on the process as well. Like as I mentioned earlier, I tell them not to be result oriented too much. I rather would like for them to be process oriented, set a process in place, and try to nail that process down consistently.
Mm,
So yeah, one would be stay level. Two would be process oriented, and then three, yeah, just enjoy it because that's why you started playing the game in the first place.
right.
So if you get too serious and lose the enjoyment of the game, then you'll start hating it because
And
cricket can be
that's
a tough game.
it can be a tough game and it can consume you so much that again you forget to just have fun.
Yeah,
But I think those are such important points, and amazing habits and philosophies that when you drill them in at a young age, it'll definitely help when you're playing as an adult.
absolutely.
I also wanted to touch on something really special in your journey. You have mentioned that you were mentored and coached by a Guyanese icon himself, like Mr. Alvin
Yes.
Kallicharran. As West Indians, he's everything for us. He's known for so many accolades, including his fearless and resilient approach to the game. Do you think that experience influenced the way that you coach and mentor now?
Absolutely. And Coach Alvin Kallicharran is very close to my heart.
Mm,
So interesting story. So I'll get to the question. But interesting story. When I first moved here, I was really upset about my family moving to the US, and I was like, oh, my cricket dream is done, this and that.
yeah.
And then I eventually found Triangle Cricket League and was playing in the youth program. And that's when I first met Coach Alvin when I was 14 years old or 13 years old.
Wow.
And then he spotted me, and then he's completely taken me under his wing, right? So for the last 10 years or more, so I've spent most of my days with Coach Alvin, like literally from morning, like morning. I was homeschooled, so the whole day pretty
Okay.
much. So from like morning, say like 10 to like evening 7, 8, every day with him. And everything that I know about the game and everything like I teach and everything I know as a player is what I've learned from him. And I'm like forever grateful, right?
What a blessing to have him,
Yeah,
take you under his wing.
absolutely. Like it's a very special relationship that I share with him, and it was not a transactional relationship at all. It was something completely out of love and love for the game, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it sounds beautiful, and again, what a blessing it is to have him, as much experience as he has, and to be able to share that knowledge, and you're sharing your knowledge now to the younger generation.
absolutely.
Well, Sanjay, we're going to switch gears now to a quick fire round. No
All
pressure. Are you ready?
right, I'm ready.
Okay. A T20 franchise team you'd love to play for,
Any league in the world?
any league.
Um, Chennai Super Kings.
I had a feeling that's one of my favorite teams. One thing, one thing you miss most about Chennai.
Food and family.
Hmm. What song would you be playing every time you walk out to bat?
Hall of Fame.
One show you've binged recently.
Recently, Breaking Bad.
Hmm. One teammate you'd always want beside you in a tense chase.
At any level, or
At any level.
okay, it's my best friend Aditya Padala.
Okay. All right. Well, before I let you go, if you could tell your younger self something right here, right now, what would you tell him?
Don't overthink.
Wow, that is so simple. I feel like that sounds easier in your head than, why
Yeah,
don't overthink? That's such an interesting piece of advice for your younger self.
because I still like, as I told you, like a couple of the values that I teach the kids are things that I used to do wrong growing up.
Mm.
I used to overthink a lot, beat myself over bad performances. That sort of really restricted my growth as a player. So I would just say, like, stop overthinking, just enjoy the game, trust the process, just go with the flow. Don't like
I
beat yourself up.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such an important piece of advice for the new year as well. I think as we're all moving in different directions and thinking about, where we are in life, I think your younger self would also appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Sanjay, thanks so much for joining me today on Between the Wickets. And to our audiences, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the episode. Until next time, I'm Krystal Ramroop. See you on the pitch.